Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be comparing this, which is my new vintage, pre-loved Chanel mini, and the classic, also vintage and pre-loved, Chanel flap 2.55, which is currently the medium large flap. So I will be giving you a comparison of these two, as well as what fits inside and a little mini review. I found out more about this bag since I did my unboxing, so I will give you some more information about this one. I will also link two of this bag available on the pre-loved market down below. And this one I am going to sell. It is currently up for sale, so if you don't want to use a Poshmark or Tradesy or something, you are welcome to contact me through YouTube about this if you are interested in buying it. But that is what is going to happen today, so let's get started. Okay, so let's first start with the size measurements and comparison. So obviously, this bag is significantly smaller. I would say it's probably, my husband said 40% of this one. I don't think that's true. I think it's more like 60% or something, but it is definitely smaller. So the measurements for this one are 7 by just under 5, like 4 3/4 by 1.5. This one is 10 by 7 by 3. So that is the classic medium large size, and that's this one. The amount of stitching of the diamonds across is almost the same. This one is about 1.5 more than this one, and you can see that the actual diamonds are significantly smaller on this one. They scaled it size. With that, they are both a single flap, so I will show you the interior shortly, and they both have the gold leather woven through chains. This one does have the ability, it has the 2 different holes, so it has the ability to be worn either as a single strap or as a double strap. This one does not have that option. You can only wear it this way, or you can pull it through and wear it as a clutch. So it only has the one there, which is the same with all minis. I should note that, so this vintage mini is about, it's very close to the current rectangular mini, and but it is also similar in size. It kind of fits between the rectangular mini and the extra mini, which honestly isn't that much smaller than the rectangular mini. So that's the difference. This is closer to the rectangular mini, but that is something to keep in mind. So again, it is the 7 by just under 5 by 1.5. This one is in better shape. It is 5-ish years newer. So this one is from the early 90s and this is from the mid 80s. It could be as much as 10 years newer because I think this is from 85 or 86. So that is the case with this one. This one was called the Mini when it came out. Still a classic in that way. The turn lock is the same on both. I really love this vintage turn lock. I like the reissue lock as well, but I don't particularly like the push locks. So these I was very happy to get the classic CC turn lock. They are both in gold plated. So the heat stamp for the gold plated right here is right there. And then on this one, it is in this bottom corner. So I'll zoom in a little bit on the actual hardware. So that's that one. In general, this one is in much better shape. It is newer. It was also better taken care of. It has basically no rubs on it. The lambskin is in awesome shape. It does have a few indents in the bottom, and it has a couple places where it was stuffed and kind of got stuck in a shape. I am working to keep this one stuffed and eventually to fix that over time. I don't want to force it or anything, but it's not bad at all. This one is in generally good shape, though there is rubbing on the top parts by the chain as well as all of the corners. For its vintage age, I think this one is in really good shape, but there is rubbing all along. And to me, this one, as you can see, there's kind of some lines through this one, so it does feel like the structure is starting to weaken. Whatever is inside between the lining and the lambskin, I think it's some kind of like cardboard material or something That is starting to give way slightly, but it still generally maintains its shape very well. Another thing to note is this one has the classic pocket on the back, and this one is plain on the back, so it does not have that pocket. Also, this lock is a little bit different because it is this circular lock and the CC falls halfway between. A lot of the current ones are straight across, and then in this dip is where the full CC lock is. It's not kind of halfway between. And then this one is a little unique for its age. This one is different than a lot of other minis, even from other vintage minis, because the flap goes, it's a half flap, but it goes all the way across and the CC is just inside of that flap. So that is a little bit different as well. Okay, so for the interior, this one I discovered, and the authentication that I received told me that this one has been relined. So if you want to see what the interior of this originally looked like, check out the links below to the other ones I found of this bag. They all still have the CCs here, which is different than that one I'll show in just a second. But usually the burgundy lining only goes halfway, and then in the bottom it said Chanel, and it had a serial code inside. So mine has been totally relined, which is probably why the interior is in like perfect shape. It's really, really nice. There's no flaking at all, no peeling, no stickiness. So that is why they had this totally redone, all of this leather burgundy added inside. So that is that, which is okay with me because it's gonna last a lot longer that way. And the interior of this one, let me take out the stuffing. The interior of this one has a lot more going on. So it's got this pocket in here, which is in pretty good shape. It's also got the zip back here, which inside of this is fabric, and inside of these pockets is leather lining, so that is more similar to the flap inside this pocket, which is fully leather and leather lined. It obviously has the Chanel pairs and the CCs, which the other one does not, and it does have a serial code in here in that corner, which indicates its age. The pockets are in good shape. They are not peeling or sticky yet, but they are starting to show a little bit of deterioration. I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of like color that's starting to come off of there. It's just starting to deteriorate a little bit in that way, but they both hold a lot, and I will show you what fits inside in just a second. The only other thing I want to mention is the hardware here has started to rub off, where your fingers, you know, play with the turn lock, but otherwise the hardware is in good shape on that one. And this one, the hardware is in really excellent shape. The only place you can see the peeling is if you look right down in there, and that is just from where this has been hitting it over time as you open it. So that is that. Okay, so let me show you what fits inside. We'll start with this one because obviously it is smaller. I film with my iPhone 7, so this is an old Samsung of my husband's that's about the same size. So I'll show you that. I can almost fit it in this back pocket, but I cannot. So we'll put that there. I always use my Ferragamo key case. I've talked about it many times on this channel, so I can fit that in there as well. A card case. This is a little scalloped card case from Kate Spade. I can fit the card case inside of this thing right there, and it does not interfere with it closing, so that is a nice thing. It does fit in that little pocket, and that's getting pretty full, right? I'm not sure that I would put anything else in there. This does close, but I do have to push it to close it. It closes no problem, but it is pretty stuffed in there. You could try to rearrange things, but your phone would never fit this way or anything because it's definitely too tall. So that is something to keep in mind. I honestly don't always have my keys with me. If I'm going somewhere that's formal that I would use a bag like this, I generally go with my husband, so he carries the keys. And so I usually don't have the key case. If I took out the card case, because I can put cards in my key case, that does make it flatter. So that is a little bit better, and I'd probably, if I needed to bring my keys for something, I would just put my cards in the key case and it would fit a little bit better that way. And I do have plenty of room on the sides for, you know, a small lipstick and something else that is quite little could fit there on both of the sides as well, because I do have some room lengthwise. So that is what fits in here. It is small, it holds the essentials, and honestly, when I am out, especially for something that's an evening, that is all that I carry with me. I could put a couple bobby pins and a lipstick, and that's really all that I would need. So I am happy with the size, and if I am going to upgrade to an iPhone 6 or 7 Plus, probably 7 at this point, that would fit lengthwise as well, but it would eliminate some of the room for something like a lipstick. Okay, so now for what fits inside this one. There's much, much more room. So I will put in everything that I just had in the other bag. I can fit my card case in the back pockets like that, or I can fit it in the zip pocket, which is probably where someone would feel more comfortable carrying it. So that's in there, and look how much room we still have left. So way more room, right? That's all the things that I would generally carry. There's certainly more room for lipsticks and a bunch of other items. If I wanted to put, instead of the card case, I wanted to put my big wallet, which is the Ferragamo Double Ganchillo zip around wallet, I would probably rearrange a little bit and do it more like this. So my key case is facing up, the wallet fits inside, and the phone fits in there. And I would potentially also put my phone, let's see if I can fit it height-wise. Oh, no, it's just too high to fit in there, so it would have to go in flat. I could also use this front pocket, but honestly, I don't think I would. It's just as easy, if not easier, to get into this pocket just because of it, the way that the bag opens. Then this one still stays pretty thin. So I could, of course, put a lipstick in this corner or something, and I could put a little more makeup stuff on top if I wanted to, but that is how that one is, and it's not overstuffed. It feels pretty good, but it is quite heavy. So this bag is already heavy, and it's much heavier than that bag because of its size, but also just for some reason the lambskin feels a little bit thicker, and the chain, since it's this double chain, everything, there's more hardware, so it is heavy already. This one's actually like difficult to, like, I really feel the heaviness of it. It's not difficult to hold. But another thing that I could fit in, and I'm going to take some other stuff out to show you that, is this is just a pouch. It's a pretty large sized pouch. I actually never use this. If anybody wants it, let me know. It's a Marc Jacobs pouch in leather, so it has some weight to it as well, and it has a good amount of hardware. This actually like perfectly fits inside. So I could put stuff around this, and I could, you know, I could always put my phone in the back pocket as well, if that's something that I wanted to do, and keep some room that way if I wanted to be able to get to it a lot. But even this, right, there is still some room. I wouldn't stuff anything else inside there, but I could use up this side space, or I still have my card case inside, so there's room for that sort of thing as well. But if you really wanted to carry a bunch of makeup and then just a card case and throw your phone in the back, you could do that. I hope that was helpful, a little bit of a comparison. So this will be helpful to you if you don't buy pre-loved and you're not looking to buy these exact ones. This is the classic medium large is the bigger one, which is still available for sale. And I will link the current one down below, but you can find a ton of them on the pre-loved market. Save a little bit of money, especially if you're willing to go a little bit older and maybe not in perfect shape. And then the mini is very similar to the size of the mini rectangular. A lot of the same stuff will fit inside, and you could also potentially fit more because it is a little bit deeper, I believe. So you could potentially fit more in there as well, and the extra mini would be a similar size too. So you can get a little bit of a comparison with that, but that's these. If you are interested in buying this beauty, it is such a beauty, and I think of it really as much of a collector's item because it was the first era of the serial numbers. You know, it is classic single flap. It's so stunning, but I'm just never going to use it. I don't need to carry that much. I really only need to carry what fits in the mini. The mini is in a little bit better shape, and I always like to wear it on the long shoulder strap. So all of the things that the mini has that this one doesn't, besides that this is the classic and the stunning beauty, make the mini a little bit of a better option for me. If I change my mind later on in life and I decide I need a bigger bag or I want this classic again, I may get the small or I may get the classic shape again, because honestly the small is only an inch smaller in each way, so it's not that much smaller. But I do love the classic flap. Of course, I mean every time I look at this I get excited, but it's just not something I think I will use now that I have the mini. So I will part with this absolute beauty, and if you're interested, please let me know. But I hope the video was helpful, and I hope that you liked it. If you did, please give it a like or a thumbs up and subscribe to see future videos. Let me know if you have any questions, and I would love to see your classics. If you have any classics or you have any vintage bags or things that you love that you've gotten on the pre-loved market, let me know and I'd be happy to check them out. Thanks and have a wonderful day.